Good morning and welcome. You are with the Skeinz Diaries. Today is October, I know, Stone the Crows, October the 2nd, and it is episode 281. I know, where's this going? 281. Right, sorry I'm late. Ratio Poncho Day. It is a big, big day. You should have, if you haven't already, you should have your Ratio Poncho pattern being able to be downloaded, which will be in your inbox. It will be. So I've already sent that email out this morning. Don't panic if you can't find it. If you go to our social media, either Facebook or on Instagram, you may need to cut, copy, and paste it. And you can get to the newsletter to be able to download that pattern. So it is there, it's up, it's live, and you can go and get your sticky little paws on it. And I've loved seeing people's ideas over the weekend on the speakeasy. Yvonne wins the prize, I have to say, for the best idea. She had some tubs that she dug out of stash and put a whole bunch of yarns into for the poncho for the knit along to actually get different colors and ideas. Such a great way of doing it, Yvonne. I really loved that idea. And in a way, it kind of mirrors what I've gone and done here. So today, this is what we're going to do today. So today, I've brought all my ponchos in. Oh, actually, honestly, I've been rushing. I'll just go and grab the other. Right, there we go. Got that there. So I've brought all my ponchos in so we can have a look, and they're all different ideas to give you different ideas of what it is that you want to do. The poncho is designed in such a way that I've really just given you a template. It's a little bit like a colouring book, okay? I've given you a colouring book. We've written the pattern to give you this poncho, all right? So that's how the pattern is written. But it does not need to be exactly like this. And you will see that when you see the poncho, is that it's a very, very basic sort of repeat to give you this concept. And you can do it so many different ways. You can do it with lots of colors. You can do it with a single color. You can change around with texture. I want you to go crazy on this. I want you to have fun. I want you to, and fun for you could be all of one color, but you change textures, or it could be just a couple of colors or something really classic and chic, or it could be lots of stripes like this, or it could be something really outrageous. It could be art yarn. It could be, you could play around with sizings and needles. You let your imagination go wild. There are 3 sizes in the poncho. So this is the largest size. Personally, I like this big size. I like a big poncho, so it's like a cape, like a really full-on garment. And then there's sort of essentially 2 sizes, which sort of take them up into smaller sort of increments. But what I thought we'd do is I would show you some different ponchos, different stylings, different ideas, and then I just want you to fill your boots. Now, the other nice thing about this poncho knit along is that you don't have to do it. You can do it in your own time, but there are going to be prizes. So I've got sort of 3 major sort of sections, which is the most innovative use of colour, the most innovative use of texture, and then the most innovative use of stash and or skeins yarns. Okay, so those are the 3 things that we want to see. If you're in the speakeasy and you won't have time to do the poncho knit along, fear not. Fear not. We still also have just a basic theme for the month, so you can knit whatever you want, and you're still not going to miss out. That regular monthly draw is going to continue. So there's lots and lots going on. So as I mentioned, this is the one that appears in the pattern, but I'm going to show you, and I've got it here, the original poncho. So I'm going to move this in. So originally, and I'm going to stand this back so we can. Oh, look at that! Right, originally I wrote this poncho pattern for Albertine. And I wanted to have something to show off all the colours in Albertine. So here's the original poncho pattern. So this is the original poncho here. So there were two goals for this poncho, and the two goals were to show off the colours in the initial colours in Albertine, and that's them there, the initial ones. So that was goal one. Goal two was to have something that could be knitted on easily on straight needles, because we had people coming into us saying we don't like to use circular needles. So the needle used on this poncho, on the basic one, is 6mm. Because it's a free flowing garment, you don't have a lot of structure and flow. It's designed in such a way that it doesn't have a lot of friction points, so you don't have to worry about wear so much. And if you do need to depill it, a big swath of fabric like this with a depiller is the easiest thing in the world. Now, I have not depilled any of my ponchos to date, okay? So just so you're aware, this is not, and I mean, I wear particularly this one and the purple one all the time. So here is the original. And I'm going to show you this because this concept, yep, I'm going to layer these up on here. So this is the original. There we go. So the original is and actually you can see she's a little bit fuzzy now, so she probably can do with a wee depot, but it's not the end of the world. So this is the original, and I ended up just doing this band of colour down one side. And I have to say I do quite like that. I do like the sort of chic nature on it because it gives you a pop of colour and it looks great. If you want to achieve this with this band of colour, then plain and a band of colour at the end, the trick with it is to actually have your fronts and backs matching. So when you go to seam at your shoulder, they will all match up, right? Now, when you cast on, if you are like me and you want this short side to go on your right shoulder, your cast on edge is actually the back of the poncho, okay? And your cast off edge is the front edge of the poncho. So that is the thing that you have to remember. So when you're doing it, do your stripe sequence, knit your portion through so decide how many stripes. You may only want a small number of stripes, you might want a large number of stripes, but whatever you do, when you do your straight portion and you come back the other way, you need to take your measurement here, see what that is, subtract that off the final, whatever the measurement was that you were choosing to do, and then reverse your order of colours when you come back the other way, so they'll match up. Okay, so that's just the only thing so it's like a mirror image, so you've got to remember to do that. So that's the only little trick here. So that's what this looks like with sort of two tones and turned to straight or there. Now, the nice thing with this is where you can start playing around with some texture, right? This is where, if you had something like the Whisper DK with a bit of fuzz, you could actually have, if you wanted, all one colour. Imagine if this was all in sort of this cyany blue, and your texture could actually come with the stripes using the mohair. If you wanted all one colour, but you wanted to whiz it up a little bit, right? Can you, Angela's saying, can I show you how to wear the original one? Oh, and I've got to jump. Remember, I have got a cardigan on under this, so it'll look a little bulky. Ugh. When I get my cardigan sorted. So I have the short side here. So there's your shoulder, the shoulder seam I have there, and then I just arrange the collar how I arrange it. So there's the original. So the colours here, as you can see, sort of finish to that. And in terms of the ratio, this is 1/3, 2/3, right? So that's where that ratio came from for this one. So that's the Albertine. So that's the original. And this was knitted on a 6mm straight needle, the body part. When I got to the collar, and you can see the collar's funneled there like that. I did do this in the round, but you could do it flat if you wanted to. But when you seamed it up, you would put your exposed seam on this side, and you would actually mattress stitch on this side to make it invisible on the other side. And what I did with that is that's when I started with 6mm and then dived into the larger, even larger needle size to give me that sort of funnel. Oh, is there a difference between the front and the back? Yes, I was just saying that before, Meep. Is the front and the back are identical, but when you cast it on, so it's a mirror image essentially. So when you cast it on, you're actually, if you're having the short side on your right side, you're casting on from the back and working back to front. If you're a left-hander, you may like to wear your ponchos with the short side on your left. If you're left dominant, then you'll be working front to back. The trick is that when you're in, do not look too closely because some of my seams are not beautifully joined up, matched up, but you need to make sure that you're working in reverse order, in mirror order, so then that way they do. So when you work round, so you knit, 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 work your plain colour, and then start working reverse back to get those to match up. If you want to be quite blocked and geometric like this. Now, that was the first one I did. The second one so this is where it gets complicated. The second one I started was this one here. Same concept as the first. I'm going to put this on here to show you. Same concept as the first, but I wanted to play around more with colour. So what I had with this one, so as you can see, I've still done the same block of colour here. And my plan was to do all these crazy colours all the way throughout, right? And as you can see, I got more than half, closer to more like 40% halfway of those colours in there. So here's the story with this one. I cast this one on during lockdown, right? And so lockdown 1 started in lockdown 1. In fact, I'm going to spin it round because this will tell the story why I started in lockdown 1. So I started in lockdown 1. So this is the direction I went in. And in fact, oh yeah, it is the same. And I had to use yarns that I had in stash because obviously we were all locked down. So I couldn't go out and get anything. So I was using yarns. And I had all sorts of weird and wonderful. I mean, that's a bit of homespun. I had this Malabrigo. As you can see, there's some sparkly and some lurex back here. I had a little bit of that. I had, there's a little bit of, this is a weaving yarn mixed with a mohair. There's, and I had 2 skeins of this one in a pinky colour, and then there's also the same yarn but in a purplier version, which is actually an acrylic that I picked up. I think I bought in the States. Anyway, it was a crazy random thing. Sorry, now Meep is just saying, got that, but can you wear it still either way? Oh, Meep, you can wear it any way you want, darling. You wear it any way you want. I prefer to wear it that way. Some people flip it around and wear it the other way. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could actually have it like a cape and actually wear it across here if you wanted. Yeah, you can wear it however you want. Yeah, you can wear it however you want. Anywho, so this is what I started. So I knitted and knitted and knitted and knitted, and I literally got halfway during the first lockdown. And I mean, remember I was doing the diaries and I was talking to you guys about this, and then I started knitting it. And anyway, it got thrown in my basket, in my banana basket, and I forgot about it. Completely forgot about it until the second lockdown. And I thought to myself, oh, I need to finish that, really, don't I? So out it came. So here's the thing, and you can probably see it there. So in the basket it went, and it sat by my chair in my nice sunny living room. Can you see the line? Okay, so you can see the line there. Fortunately, that fits right on the shoulder line because I'd literally done half. And what had happened was this is the thing of often with these yeah, yarns like this, is that that sat in the basket like that, folded over at that point. In fact, that was what was on the needles, and you can see, actually you can almost see the little curve, sort of the little curve that's like that. That's sort of how it was folded and rolled up, and that's fading from the sun because it sat like that for over a year. But it doesn't matter because obviously it sits right on the shoulder. And then I completed it on this side and threw this on top. And it's and this one here, actually I did do a mixture, as you can see there, where I've actually wound those up. I started running out of yarn, and that's why the collar on this, the collar that started running out on yarn, that's why the collar on that isn't quite as pronounced. I'll sit down for a second and show you. So that's actually both the purple and the two different acrylics knit in that together. So that's, good. Angela, are these all in the large size? Yes, they are, because it's me. So it is in now, here's the thing, people. Delina's knitted this in the large size. This hasn't been tested, right? So this is very, very free form. Again, the large size, I like the larger size. That's what we've tested. The smaller size we've just done as a grading. They haven't been tested as sizes. And it's because it's a freebie. I've just literally put the work that I need to get in here so you can get it out to you. The smaller sizes work out at around 20 centimeter difference. They work out, it's about 15% sort of shrinkage with each smaller size with these, in case you're wondering. Okay, but we have put those, we have put those there. So everything I'm showing you is in the larger size. Actually, I'll show you this one next before I jump to that last one, because the last one's different again. So again, 6mm needle. And I can't even tell you the number I cast on, but it's it might have been, just looking at it, it might have been, oh no, it was about the same. So that's that one. Then this is the last one. So this one is the one that I've done most recently. This is the one that I did for, Suzanne's just saying it's called real world testing. It's very real world testing, Suzanne. This last one is the one that I did for Can, and this is how I discovered that when you knit it and you want the right side here, that you're knitting back to front as opposed to front to back, because I had my feature on one side only and then suddenly realized that it sits on the opposite side. Trick for young players. So what happened with this one, I'm going to put this one on and you'll see it when it goes on, is, because this one is going to go on in reverse. I'm just going to load all these up over the top. So what happened here is that, as you can see, there were two things that happened. One is I cast on more stitches with this one, and I discovered I really did not need to cast on that many. So I cast on those stitches, but I had this art yarn that I wanted to use. So I had done this gorgeous art yarn. I'd chosen all of these colors that were tonal. So they were tonal. There's everything in here from a 12 ply, what is actually now our fantasy, the 12 ply fantasy. There's a worsted